So with that, please join me in welcoming Colleen Sanderson and John Weber.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I just want to say this Think Summit is one of our favorite conferences within the industry, and it's actually a little surreal that we're standing up here at 9:30 in the morning on the main stage, so let's hope all goes well. As the introduction said, I'm Colleen Sanderson, Director of Targeted Marketing at United. Been here for 27 years, which still shocks me to hear it said out loud. I've been in marketing for about 15 of those years, and my current team leads channel strategy for any marketing campaign going through the email, SMS, or push channels.
And I'm John Weber, Senior Manager of Targeted Marketing. I have not been with United quite as long as Colleen, but I'm approaching 8 years. My team primarily focuses on the email channel, and we support both the airline and the Mileage Plus loyalty program marketing.
Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to walk you guys through a few of our favorite examples of how we have used our first-party data and the amazing Movable Ink technology to drive engagement, drive revenue, and drive brand loyalty with our Mileage Plus members. We're hopeful that you'll find some inspiration in all this, maybe an idea or two to take back to your own teams back home. So to start off, I'm sure many of you out there have been asked at some point to deploy an email campaign that is more brand focused, meaning it doesn't have that single strong call to purchase something. We field a lot of those requests, and that's where we're going to start.
So I know it's a little early, but I'm really hoping for some crowd interaction here. So let's just start off with a quick question. By show of hands, does anyone in the room know what these 4 things have in common? Just what I thought. Oh, there's one. I saw one, but I don't know. It might be a plant. Totally side note, I'm what you would call an av geek. I'm an aviation enthusiast. You find them a lot at United. And so a little side question is going to be the first person to come up to me after the session and can tell me what this plane is, and it's a really cool plane. We just brought it on late last year. We'll get a pretty cool prize, one that I'm hoping nobody answers so I can take it home myself. So, but anyway, so getting back to this, show of hands, does anyone in the room know what SAF is? Oh, we got one. Oh, and another one. Well, the answer to both of those questions is sustainable aviation fuel. So a little bit of a backstory here. In 2020, United made a commitment to be 100% green by the year 2050. So we were going to reduce our carbon footprint by 100% over the next 30 years. And on the surface, that doesn't seem too challenging, but when you consider that as an airline, we burn 3 billion gallons of fuel, jet fuel, every year to do business, the challenge comes into a little greater and clearer focus. So we're working towards this commitment through a series of various sustainability projects. We've invested in new aircraft with more efficient engines, new technologies like carbon sequestration, hydrogen and electric powered aircraft, and sustainable aviation fuel. So this is jet fuel that is made from things that have traditionally been agricultural waste products, things like coffee grounds and used cooking oil and banana peels. Not super exciting stuff, to be honest with you. It's really hard to get people excited about agricultural waste products as a marketer.
So our CorpCom team went out and hired Oscar the Grouch to be our first and probably only Chief Trash Officer as a way to make a topic like SAF easier to understand. Continuing on the easy mode path, our advertising team developed this gorgeous, fun, simple ad campaign around the ABCs of SAF. So our team's challenge then was to bring this advertising campaign into our email channel, keep it fun, keep it simple, but also find a way to leverage our member data. And of course, we turned to Movable Ink.
So in our member data, we store every member's home airport code. And in this example with Chicago, this is my email, ORD is my home airport code. And if you live in New York, it could be LGA for LaGuardia or EWR for Newark and so forth. So the team came up with a really cool way to, like, obviously there's 26 letters in the alphabet, but how do we personalize this email and make it relevant to each individual member? So we pulled in their member's home airport code into the email, showing that it corresponded, each letter, to an ingredient that could be used to make sustainable aviation fuel. But I want to talk a little bit about edge cases, because I'm sure you all experienced them in your campaigns. We definitely saw this in ours. But so in this instance, ORD works perfect. O for old orange peels, R for rancid agricultural residue, and D for donut drippings. But for someone that, say, lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, their airport code is FLL. That was not an experience that we wanted to put out there. We didn't want a repeated letter. And as much as we like to think that our data is clean and perfect, it isn't. And we actually had members that didn't have an airport code. And so instead of just suppressing those members, we actually, and the team that's here, worked with Movable Inc. to figure out a fallback, and we actually pulled in the word fly for any of these members and had FLY displayed. So looking at success for a campaign like this, and for a brand campaign where we're not really selling anything, conversions, bookings, revenue didn't really make a lot of sense from a conversion metric, a success metric. So instead what we looked at were opens and engagement and unsubscribes, which unsubscribes were extremely low. And from an engagement perspective, we actually saw 107% lift in engagement over the campaign we had launched maybe, I think it was 4 or 5 months earlier, where we announced Oscar as our Chief Trash Officer. So this became really a use case for us on how we can use personalized first-party data and Movable Inc. to make a brand campaign that typically isn't too exciting, engaging.
So one of the main focuses for our team is performance marketing, simply trying to get that customer to book a ticket on a United flight. We have plenty of campaigns that do this. There's one in particular that we were deploying weekly. It was promoting low fares on routes across the US. It wasn't well personalized though, and the process underneath it was rather unfortunate. It involved multiple teams using spreadsheets of all things to code emails and to update fares on various landing pages. And when you're putting airline prices in front of a customer, a process that janky it just introduces way too much risk. So my team's challenge was how to get ourselves out of this manual, inefficient process and improve campaign personalization at the same time. So again, we started conversations with Movable Inc.
So we partnered with Movable Inc. and one of our other vendors, Everymundo, who brings in live pricing. And we rebuilt this campaign and in a way that we could use APIs to pull in the live pricing for a member's home airport, whether that's a large hub like LA or a smaller airport like Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So in doing that, we were able to drive a much lower time to production. So we went from about a 4 to 5 day production lead time across multiple teams to 2 days. Which when you consider this campaign deploys at times on a weekly basis across the year, that's a huge amount of savings for the teams that were involved. And this technology this is really the first use case. We're actually looking to pull this into other email campaigns, our monthly statement. We can include it in ride-along banners. We're looking to pull in award fairs to be displayed along with the revenue fares, and then also we're looking at marrying this data with our machine learning model that has a recommended destination, so we're able to display that for our members.
Okay, even though Oscar the Grouch is wonderful and fun, and how can you not like him, this campaign that we're going to talk about here is personally my favorite of the 4. Late last year, we started partnering with our revenue management team to develop a campaign to promote traveling to Europe in the winter months, and that's a combination that's typically pretty slow for United. Our broader marketing team developed an integrated multi-channel concept that we called Winter on a Whim that really talked about the benefits, the positives of traveling to Europe in the winter, and there actually are a few. Lower fares, fewer crowds, and some unique seasonal experiences. But then we wanted to add on a special twist that was just for our Mileage Plus members. And I know this is going to shock you, but we actually talked to Movable Inc. about this.
So all of this marketing culminated in a campaign we called Surprise Adventure Week. And this was United's first ever week of deals type of campaign where each day we put a new destination on sale. and it was one day only. We featured Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, and London. I knew I was going to miss one of them, but I didn't. So each day, one of those destinations went on sale, and we were actually using Everyday Saver Awards to market to them. From the email perspective, we did a series of 3 campaigns. So starting the week prior, we did a teaser where we let people know, hey, watch your inbox. We have a sale coming up next week. And then on Monday, we launched the initial email. And then on Thursday, we had a reminder email that was deployed. Each of these emails featured several Movable Ink elements. We had the scratch to reveal, we had the countdown timer, we had mark your calendar. So we actually saw a tremendous lift in engagement for this campaign over our channel benchmark. So we had a 230% lift in click-through rate for it, and almost a 2,000% lift in award bookings for that week, which for Europe off-season was tremendously successful. It was so successful, in fact, I'm just gonna give you guys a tip. If you like to travel and you are a Mileage Plus member, make sure you're opted into our emails, because you never know, one of these might be coming up soon, but just think South Pacific maybe, so.
Maybe.
But.
One additional thing about this campaign that I just find really, we'll call it magical. If the customer had saved that teaser email, because let's be honest, every customer saves all of our emails, and they opened that teaser email the week of the sale, the creative would catch up. It would no longer look like a teaser, and it would catch up to whatever day of whatever we were promoting on that day. I just thought it was a great additional touch. Okay, couple other questions. I'm hoping for good answers here. Good show of hands. How many of you flew United to come into New York for this week? Great, love it. Anyone Mileage Plus members on top of that? Oh, that makes me so happy. Cross fingers, any of you managed to get Premier status over the years? A few, awesome.
So I'm going to try to channel my inner United Airlines captain and just say, we know you have many choices when it comes to travel. We thank you for choosing United, and thank you for flying the friendly skies. But you're probably wondering, what the heck does this have to do with this last use case? And this email is one we send out on an annual basis. It's one to thank our members and reinforce the value they have as being part of our Mileage Plus program. We like to think of it as our Spotify Wrapped with wings. It's our year-end recap campaign.
So for last year's campaign, we wanted to take a special focus on our Premier members and really show them the value that they extracted out of the program due to all of their benefits. We wanted to display personalized modules that showed benefits usage. For example, Premier status allows you to earn additional miles. So how many additional miles did you earn because of your status? How many complimentary upgrades did you get because of your status? How many checked bags did you get to check for free, et cetera, and so on. We also added an additional layer of messaging for those who hold a Mileage Plus credit card, because that too affords you additional benefits. Additional miles earned, bag check for free, et cetera.
So just like in years past, we reached out to our team at Movable Ink and asked for them to help us strategize how we can pull in these personalized modules into this campaign. And a campaign like this really starts months in advance, and the success lies in a lot of QC. So we use our own teams to kind of QC everything, but we also reach out to other teams throughout United to get a fresh set of eyes on the campaign. And we start to, once we've honed in on the data elements that we're going to use in the campaign, we start to pressure test it and look for the point with which the data no longer tells a compelling story.
So the team that was working on this sat down and literally discussed every single data point that we wanted to pull in, understood the nuances under it, understood how that data point might play with other data points that we're pulling in, just to find the right context. When do you want to show it and when do you not want to? For example, a coveted benefit of being a Premier is complimentary upgrades if there's space available in first or business class. So let's say you took 3 flights last year. and you got a complimentary upgrade on 2 of those. Well, that's great. That's 66%. That's a fantastic ratio. We would definitely show that module that says you were upgraded twice. But what if you took 20 flights and you only got a complimentary upgrade on 2? Definitely do not want to show that. That ratio is way off. So we would have suppressed that upgrade module. There were also other data points that we didn't want to show as 0. So checked bag, for example. I am not at this point yet, but there are people out there who can stuff 6 days worth of clothing into a carry-on. I'm close, I'm not there yet. So you might not ever need to check a bag, and that's not a bad thing, but we would not want to show you that you checked 0 checked bags for free. It's just not a good story. But then when you start to think about suppressing and suppressing and suppressing, we worked with Movable Inc. to develop an overall suppression rule, whereby if too many of your personalized modules were suppressed, we simply wouldn't send you the email at all. We didn't want to send you something that had no story behind it. Additionally, last year, we advanced this campaign forward by including a companion page on United.com that we could click to from the email and other digital placements. And all told, this campaign had a 400% lift in engagement over the campaign that we did the year prior. So it was a great success story, and it really, the reach for these messages was fantastic. So to wrap up, these examples that John and I have walked you through today represent some key goals for our team. Things like simplifying processes and messages, driving revenue, of course, and continuing to reinforce the value for our members of being part of the Mileage Plus program. And as our team sets about concepting campaigns in order to reach those goals, they continue to lean in on our longstanding partnership with Movable Inc. so we can find new and interesting and fun ways to bring in this rich member data that we have. That in turn makes our campaigns far more relevant and much more personalized, and that in turn drives, the successes that we've shown you here today.
So that's it for Colleen and I this morning. We hope you've learned some things. You're going to take this back and be able to use your own personalized first-party data and Movable Inc. in your own campaigns, just some ideas. If you have any questions, we're here the entire time. Feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help. We actually have quite a few people from United and people that actually worked on these campaigns firsthand. So if you have any more detailed questions, they're here. Please feel free to reach out to them. Our QR codes for LinkedIn, you can connect to us there as well. But that's it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity.